Okay, before I get started on creating a InDesign booklet, I need to transform these .orf, which is basically a raw file, into JPEGs. Because, I mean, you could drag the ORF into Adobe InDesign, but then the Adobe Camera Raw dialog would keep coming up. And I mean, that's fine if you want to deal with that every time, or you can use this method to transform them into JPEGs. Okay, so what I need to do is have all of the images selected, do a Command A, and go to Tools, down to Photoshop, Image Processor. So we're transforming these Adobe Camera Raw files into JPEG to make it really easy to just throw them right into an InDesign file. And I'll explain more of that in a few minutes. I'm waiting for Photoshop to kind of load up here. I always have an error there. Alright, so I'm going to select a location to save processed images. I'm going to select this folder. It's actually inside of here, and the ORF files, as you see. I'm going to create a new folder, just name it JPEG, create, and open. And so the location of my processed images will be in that folder. Next thing, I'm going to save as a JPEG. Quality is going to be 12. It's actually on a 12-point scale for some reason, and I'm not going to convert them to sRGB because sRGB is just for web, right? I'm not going to resize to fit anything. It's just going to, basically take these images from ORF and make them into JPEGs. It's just a really quick action. So I'm going to click Run. Oh, great. And it wouldn't process my files. Well, when you do it, it'll work, I promise. I want you to go and open up Adobe InDesign CS5 and click on Document. Okay? In Document Preset, you're going to see Default. That's fine. Intent is to print. We're going to create a number of pages that will be, let's do 16, and I'll tell you why in a second. Page size will be letter, and one column is fine. Let's do margins of just 3. That's fine. You can keep that. The orientation will be vertical instead of landscape, and we'll just click OK. So in Adobe InDesign, we'll click on Pages, and we'll see our page 1, see our page 2, page 3, page 4, so on and so forth. So I can go here to page 1, hit the T tool, click and drag, and type something. I'm going to select that text, make it a little bit bigger here so you can see it. Okay, sweet. Wasn't working at first. Okay, so this would be my first page, right? I'm going to go to my second page. I'm going to travel back to Adobe Bridge, kind of scoot this over, and I'm going to make this, we'll say this is the first image that I want there. I'm going to click and drag it over. Click here. I'm going to zoom out, do a Command minus, and then hit the E tool to transform this thing. I'm going to make it one huge page. It's going to be called a spread. That's what it's called. So it's going to fill up the entire page, and I'm holding Shift to make sure that this aligns properly. Alright, going to page 2. Actually, this will be page 4. And now I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to start this at the upper left-hand corner, E, transform, and I'm going to make this centered to that single page. Scroll over, bring another one in. I don't like that one. Zoom out. E to transform, holding Shift to scale. Perfect. So now I have basically created a title, a one full page image, and I can move this around. I can even make it a little bit smaller if I wanted to. Oops. E, it's this transform tool right here. I could just make this into one page instead. Move it up. Guides help me to center it. Same thing here. So I want you to go through all of your images and kind of plug them into this booklet. When you're done, go to File, Export, and we'll save the PDF just to your desktop, and you can name it, Jacono, and then click Save. All right. JPEG quality, I'm going to make it maximum because I'm going to print this out. Oops, you know what I screwed up? File, Export, Adobe PDF Print, Save, Export. So that will process that, send it to my desktop. And once you have this, there it is on the desktop, open it up in Adobe Acrobat and print it by using the booklet feature. And by then I should be able to help you out. Okay, I'm going to pick up where I left off with that last tutorial about exporting your InDesign file to PDF and then printing. So let's go through that one more time. I have my InDesign file here that I just created. One thing I wanted to talk about actually is the page numbers. Basically we have 8 pages or 12 pages or 16. So this kind of maths out. I'm going to actually select these and drag them. 8 pages maths out to be, this is the front, number 1, and this is 8 is the back cover, and everything else is kind of in between. If we go 12, that's 4 more than 8. So that's 4 more possible images. 16, 4 more than 12. Just doing my math on my fingers, right. So this is actually going to be, I'm going to add one more image in here. I'm going to go back to Bridge real quick. Then I promise we'll export it and get going here. So E makes the image bigger, holding Shift down, and you can even hold Option. That'll create the image, make it bigger on all 4 sides at once, so I don't have to work harder. Alright, so that's centered. I'm going to hit, just kind of back out, do a Command minus, and I got all of my images here. Perfect. So let's do Command E for export, and making sure that the format is Adobe PDF Print. It's going to be a PDF booklet. I'm actually going to put 2, my last name booklet, and then 2, just because I already have PDF booklet. Save. Okay, so it's important here to I messed up again. File, export, PDF print. I thought I would get more options than that. I guess not. Alright, well, whatever. Export. It's going to send it to the desktop. And now we're ready to send this to Adobe Reader. So I right-clicked, or you can control-click, open with Adobe Reader. And I guess it's thinking it wants to open. There it is. Perfect. Alrighty, so I can zoom out, do Command minus, and kind of zoom out and see what my booklet's going to look like. Notice this last page is cut in half, but when we print it, it'll be copacetic. So let's go to File, Print. And in this print dialog, you have to first make sure that the name of the printer is HP LaserJet 5100. We're using the LaserJet. It's a black and white printer. This booklet's going to be black and white. We'll talk about doing the phaser, printing on the phaser a little bit later. You can actually print color with that, but it's going to cost you a little bit of money. I think it's $60 60 cents for each print. So printer name HP LaserJet. Second thing, most important, is page scaling. So click on this, go down to booklet printing, and you're going to print on both sides, sheets 1 to 2, and it's going to be the left binding. And you get a little preview over here in the bottom right hand corner of the first page, second page, third page, fourth page. So that's basically it. So we can hit OK and it'll send it to the printer.